they were downtown Orlando was Park Avenue. There was no downtown Orlando. So Park Avenue had this club called Decades, and that's where the bands would play. And my memory is like horrific. And then immediately when I first got it, then I met like Michael McCraney, and all these guys are still in high school. David Minshew and Ken Chidini. And Ken Chidini had this band called Green Today. And me and Thomas Scott, who did the Figurehead label and all the artwork, we just started digging into the trenches of the local bands. And it was a cool scene. It was just a lot of, the minute I started booking when I first got here, like immediately, we were using the local bands, Sinful Pigeons, which was Jeff Nolan's band. And, but yeah, it was, they already had a very healthy scene.
Yeah.
Very jangle, REM, birds driven of that. There was a big vibe of REM was like the rage of Central Florida at the time. Every show, people were volunteering for security, volunteering to run the door. Below Zero, Barbarella, which was Beach Club back then. Every show, the guys from Noise for the Needy, which Ed Puglisi's band was a big band back then. Every one of those guys, Dino, everybody jumped in because everybody wanted to see it happen. And everybody's trying to get bigger bands to come to Florida because the bigger bands would go to Atlanta, then go to New Orleans. They didn't want to come down to Florida. Too much money, too much time.
Right.
So from the help with all these connections with these other cities, we started offering these bands, say, hey, come down and do Jacksonville Beach, Einstein a Go-Go, our club, Tampa, and go out at Pensacola at Sluggos. So we offer them 4 dates together as a team. Just to try to get these bands, because no national acts or whatever back the punk scene would come to Florida, except if you're from Athens, Georgia, or a Florida punk band, 1985, I was managing this place called Sleep Out Louie's. So I just put every band, Husker Du, Marginal Man, Meat Puppets, all into the venue that I had. So that was 1985. So, prior to 1985, Electric Avenue we did Modern English, Lord's a New Church. There was the labeling, I don't think ever scared anybody because it was all whatever, is because these bands were so used to going into to me, what I call industrial cities, Cleveland, Cincinnati, the East Coast, and there's 200 people. They're coming down here and there's 2,000 people or 1,500 people. It was insane. But then, like when we were doing stuff at Faith and Physics with John Gartner, like Suicidal Tendencies or 10,000 Maniacs, the club could only hold 300 people. But the thing back then, because it was pre-internet, it was a tribe. People just came out if it sounded alternative. So there was no only the punk kids came out for this show, or the same people that came out for Suicidal Tendencies were coming out to see 10,000 Maniacs because you wanted to be part of that scene. So it didn't matter. So that's the beauty before the internet, that people were just coming out.
Right.
For the shows and supporting them. All the shows, even local shows, were insanely packed, which was very exciting for the bands and for the vibe of the crowd, because there's no pre-judgmental of, Road Shadows was pre-Guns N' Roses, kind of almost metal. And then you had Target Earth that was this, and then East Egg that was this, or Braille Closet was this. So they all came out. It didn't matter.